News when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Monica Rix. House Speaker Mike Johnson says Greenland is important to the U.S., but he doesn't foresee military intervention despite President Trump's threats to take total control of the territory.
I think diplomatic channels is the way to go, and I think the president's appointment of an envoy, recognizes that.
Speaker Johnson on the BBC. But European lawmakers have now called for a halt to a U.S.-EU trade truce that Trump set last summer as ambassadors meet today to discuss the bloc's next steps, including France's request to activate the European Union's anti-coercion instrument. It's designed to respond to coercive actions from third countries that use trade measures to pressure policy choices of the EU or its members. Up until now, it's never been used. Whether Trump's tariffs take effect also depends on a pending ruling from the Supreme Court. And Wall Street is looking ahead to Tuesday to hear from those justices. Bloomberg's Nathan Hager is in Washington.
The High Court has gone through 2 opinion days this year without ruling on President Trump's emergency tariffs. Investors will see whether the third day is the one. The justices have set this Tuesday as their next opinion day. As usual, the High Court never says which cases it will decide on until the justices return to the bench. If a tariff ruling doesn't come this week, it could be a while. The Supreme Court's scheduled for a month-long break starting after this Wednesday. In Washington, I'm Nathan Hager, Bloomberg Radio.
The Supreme Court's expected to hear oral arguments on Wednesday and decide whether the president has the authority to fire Fed Governor Lisa Cook for cause. The president accused Cook of alleged mortgage fraud last year, which she denies. Former Fed Chair Janet Yellen talked to Bloomberg about it, and she says a ruling in Trump's favor would be devastating.
This is just going too far, because when a president weaponizes the Department of Justice and uses pretenses to go after enemies, we're not living in a democracy anymore if that's allowed to happen.
Hear more from Janet Yellen on the Everybody's Business podcast. Trump's also tried to fire Fed Chair Jerome Powell for cause following repeated attacks for not lowering interest rates enough. BlackRock CEO Rick Rieder is on Trump's shortlist to be the next Fed chair, and his candidacy now seems to be gaining traction. Sources tell Bloomberg Rieder's interview with the president went well last week. Fed Governors Kevin Warsh and Christopher Waller are also up for the job. President Trump's economic and geopolitical agenda hit the global stage this week. Here's Bloomberg's Andrew O'Day.
He is slated to address the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland. Trump's National Economic Council Director Kevin Hassett says among items the president plans to announce at Davos will be a plan for letting savers in 401k retirement plans use some of their money for down payments on a home purchase. Andrew O'Day, Bloomberg Radio.
Violent clashes continue in Minneapolis amid pro-ICE demonstrations now happening in the city. The FBI has asked agents to head to Minneapolis to aid ICE. The Pentagon also has troops on standby. The Trump administration will allow more foreign athletes to travel to the U.S. despite its visa ban on dozens of countries. The State Department now says athletes, coaches, and support staff for events like the World Cup and Olympics can come, but foreign fans are still banned. The CDC keeps flagging surging flu and measles cases, which actually just marked the highest number of cases in the U.S. last year since the early 90s. Dr. Alok Patel is a pediatrician in the Bay Area.
The majority of cases were in children and teens, and over 90% of cases were in those who were unvaccinated.
In the last 10 days alone, health officials have confirmed hundreds of measles cases in states like South Carolina. And a bill to protect children from social media harms is moving forward, but it's catching some heat on Capitol Hill. Bloomberg's Amy Morris explains from Washington.
The Kids Off Social Media Act, or COSMA, would ban kids under 13 from accessing social media accounts and require tech companies to delete existing accounts of young children. But some lawmakers, civil rights groups, and tech officials say COSMA raises concerns about free speech, government overreach, and individual privacy. An alternative proposal would require social media companies to prevent harm to minors, and it has enough support for Congress to pass now. In Washington, Amy Morris, Bloomberg Radio.
And that's news when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Monica Rix, and this is Bloomberg.